Hello everyone, it's Gemma here from the inspiredstamper.co.uk. Thank you for joining me on my video today. Today's project is this card here, a nice, sweet and simple one. We've used the Gingham Gala Designer Series paper for this. The stamp on this one comes from Incredible Like You photopolymer stamp set, which is in the spring summer catalogue, but today I'm going to use the Butterfly Gala stamp set because I want to use the sentiment just here for it. And I'm also going to punch out a butterfly for the front as well using the coordinating butterfly duet punch. So to make this card you're going to need a note card. I have lots and lots of card blanks, so I'm trying to use some of them up. So this one is just 4 1/8 by 5 3/4. So if you were going to cut that yourself, it would be 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, and then you'd score it on the longer side at 4 1/8 to make your note card size. But mine are already pre-done. So I've got one of those. I've got a piece of Whisper White that we're going to do some stamping on, and we're going to punch out for our sentiment. I have got a piece of the, let's get this right, flax ribbon in Whisper White. It's quite nice, and it's nice and sturdy, and it takes good shape. So we've got some of that for the front of our card. And then I have got a piece of Highland Heather cardstock, which measures 5 3/4 by 2 1/4 inches. And then I've got a piece of the Highland Heather Gingham Gala Designer Series paper, which is 2 inches across that way by, again, 5 3/4 of an inch. And then I've got some of the little sequins here as well, which we're going to pop on the front, and they are also in the Gingham Gala suite, the Gingham Gala adhesive back sequins. So we've got those. So let's pop these bits out the way. I'm going to bring in my piece of Whisper White, and we're going to do our stamping first. I've also got a little piece of Highland Heather, so I thought we might stamp out a butterfly as well. I'm going to use my Memento black ink for my sentiment. I think sometimes it's a bit tempting to use all of one colour on one card. So that's why I decided to use black to stamp out my sentiment. I'm going to move that ribbon out the way before I get black ink on it. So I'm just going to ink up my sentiment and stamp that down. There we go. Let's pop that out the way. Lid on. And I'm going to choose one of my little butterflies, I think. Now one of these I've actually cut and separated them. So there we go. I'm going to use this little tiny one, and I'm going to use some Highland Heather ink on the Highland Heather cardstock. I think it's pretty cute. And I'm going to stamp 2 of these, I think. There we go. Got a bit excited pushing that one down. There we go. So there's our little bit of stamping. I'm going to use my 2-inch circle punch to punch out my sentiment. And slide that in. There we go. I'm going to leave a little space at the bottom because I'm going to add in one of our sequins. So I've got that one. And then I'm going to punch out my little butterfly as well. There we go. So let's get rid of that. Just trim this down so it will fit. Right, so quick tip on this. If you ever get a punch like that where you can't hold on to the paper, grab yourself a post-it note. I'm just going to cut a strip and I've got my sticky bit here at the top. Pop that underneath. Now you've got something to hold on to when you're punching. There we go, problem solved. And because it's only a post-it note, you can just peel it off again when you're finished. So there we go. So you'll see there is a piece of post-it note left on there. We can just take it off because it's not permanent. So there we go, we've got our 2 little butterflies and our sentiment punched out. Right, let's get rid of that and shut that drawer. Now I grabbed out the post-it note. Let's move our punch as well. There we go. Now we can start to put our card together. So the first thing I'm going to do is attach my patterned paper to my cardstock. So we can just glue this down along here. So I'll have a border at the top and the bottom. There we go. So that is now attached to that. Our piece of ribbon, we are going to tie a knot in the middle of this, but I'm going to use something to help me. So I have got my aqua painter here because it's quite a nice wide pen. So I'm going to pop it. I'm going to lay my ribbon down. Now this ribbon measures roughly 15 inches. Maybe a little long, we may need to trim it. But I'm going to pop it down in the middle, and then I'm going to tie a knot in my ribbon over my aqua painter, like so, not too tight, and then I'm going to tie another knot on top of it again. Does feel like you need about 6 hands to do this, and then I'm going to pull that down and I'm going to make sure it's quite flat on top of my aqua painter, and then I'm going to slide this off and I'm going to turn it over, and you'll see we've got a little loop here. I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut on an angle and open this out, and then I'm just going to flatten that down a bit, pull it a little bit tighter. So there we go, we've got quite a decorative looking little knot there, like so, and then we can add this on to our piece of cardstock that we've got our beautiful paper on. So you can position it at one end. And as I said, this flax ribbon is really good because it's quite sturdy and you can sort of fold it into position. And you can get it to pretty much stay where you want it to stay. So if we find my glue dots, there we go. I'm just going to pop a glue dot underneath just to hold that in place. So there's one side, and then I'm going to bring this one round, another glue dot, just to stick that down. It's a bit long on there, so I'm just going to trim that a bit off. There we go. So we've got the front of our card done. Now we can attach this piece to our card. So let's get some glue on here. Nice bit of glue on there, all ribbony bits. There we go. And this is just going to sit across the front of our card. Right, there we go. Use the lines on our grid paper to help us get it nice and straight. There we go. Let's turn that over and give it a good squish down. There we go. It will stick. There we go. Now if you wish to, you can also pop a glue dot just underneath your ribbon just to hold it down so it doesn't wibble about. There we go. Can't even see that. Now we can get some dimensionals and pop them on our sentiment that we've already stamped. To stick that to the front of our card. There we go. Just add this over to one side. There we go. Let's get rid of those. We can add in our little butterflies. Just going to bend the wings up slightly. Pop a little bit of glue on the middle, and we're going to put one there. And I think pop the other one over here. Then we can add in a few little sequins as well, just to jazz it up a little bit more. There we go, and that is our finished card. So you'll see this one is a relatively simple one. One stamp, no extra punching or stamping on that one, and just a few of our sequins to decorate. But this one is probably stepped up a little, adding in the butterfly stamps and punched images. So thank you for watching today. As always, all the measurements and everything I used today for my card will be listed on my blog, and a link to that will be in the description box below. Once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.